going on? What is going on? What is going on, Stoutsiders? It's your boy Julien Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record powerlifter, special education teacher, here to take the fear out of fitness using mindset, encouragement, accountability, and nutrition to help you be the best you. We're about to take off, and class is in session. So, what's going on, everybody? I have had a long day. I literally just got in the house about 10 minutes ago. I apologize for the late start. I am going to be busy for the rest of April due to a multitude of obligations that I have to meet that are not my own. It is for the children. I'm not going to go too far into it because, that's their business. But in truth, I want to make sure that you guys understand that I am not neglecting you guys here in the interwebs. I genuinely am insanely busy. I've got meetings on meetings on meetings on meetings on meetings. And after that, I intend on doing even more than that. So, without further ado, welcome to the Stoutt Fitness channel. I am honored to be here, but we got something to talk about. Earlier this week, I had a student of mine have a meltdown. And in that meltdown, it made me realize something in general, overall. The thing that it made me realize is that some of us complain a little bit too much. And sometimes that person is me. Not all the time, but sometimes that person is me. However, what I will say is this. If you don't like it, fix it. And if somebody is standing in your way from fixing it, either move them out the way or find your way around it. Because over the past, what would that be, 6 months now? Over the past 6 months, I've been stressed out, overworked in many different ways. And frustrated because at every turn, when I'm trying to seek a solution that will benefit everybody, I kept getting obstacles placed in front of it. Until I finally realized that the only way to get out of the way of the obstacles is to just move it. If I have to break the rules, so to speak, in order to make that happen, so be it. Now, I'm not going out of my way to be obstinate and disrespectful. That's not the point. The point is that if the solution is better than the problem, always choose a solution. You got to make boss decisions. You got to turn around and sit down and make the final choice. And then suffer the consequences, whether there be consequences or whether there be accolades, suffer them or deal with them and enjoy them. Because at the end of the day, you are in control of you. No one else. Not even people that give you money, not even people that pay you, not even people that patronize you, not even people that watch this channel. Anything that comes out of my mouth is going to come out of my mouth regardless, because I don't give a damn. Okay? So, because I know what I'm talking about. Not only do I know what I'm talking about, I know why I'm talking about it. I'm not talking about it to be controversial. I'm not talking about it just to be a pain in somebody's behind. I'm talking about it because it's the right thing to talk about. Because at the end of the day, when you have to look at yourself in the mirror at night. And when you hate what you're looking at, you got to fix it. This is exactly what I told my student. I told my student started complaining about, I hate the way I look. I hate the way I sound. I hate what I'm wearing. And I turned around and I said, look, I don't have a problem with how you sound, how you look, what you're wearing, none of those things. However, it is not for me to decide what it is that you like about you. That is your choice, and that is your cross to bear. Right? Because at the end of the day, there are things that I had to change. I'm not in the shape that I'm in because I liked the way I looked when I was 12 and a half years, well, 12 and 3/4 years old. I didn't make that decision on December 31st, 1980, what would that have been? 1989, 88, going into 89. I didn't make that decision. No, that would have been 1990. 1989 going into 90. But I didn't make that decision because I loved the way I looked. I didn't decide to go on this journey of fitness because, 13-year-old Julien was great. No, absolutely not. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. I didn't like the way how people treated me. I didn't like the way how people were, overlooking me. I didn't like it for a multitude of reasons. But at the end of the day, I wanted the solution, but I didn't know what the solution was. But the very second that solution presented itself to me, I immediately knew what was up. For those of y'all who don't know the story on how I came to be involved in all of this, December 31st, 1989, New Year's Eve, family members at my house. And it just so happened that LL Cool J, respect to the man, was on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, or he was on one of those programs at that time, performing. And my female cousins and my sister were all enjoying the spectacle that is LL, right? If you don't know who he is, for y'all young bucks, Google him. But for the rest of us, y'all know what's up. And they started fawning over him and talking about how he had muscles. And in my ignorant wisdom, I like that, I'm going to use that. In my ignorant wisdom, I turned around and I was like, I got muscles. And I started flexing. And the maniacal laughter that erupted amongst my female cousins and my sister was heartbreaking at first. But if it ended there, I don't even think I would have made the change that I made, or the decision to make the changes that I made. It was only until my cousin grabbed my arm, extended it out, took her fingers, put them together around my wrist, and proceeded to run up my arm. Forearm didn't stop it. Elbow didn't stop it. Bicep didn't stop it. Armpit is the only thing that stopped it. If my arm wasn't connected to my body, I'm sure it would have ran till infinity. Okay? Devastation began. I was in my feelings for over a month. Had to find some way to function, but I was in my feelings for over a month. And then my aunt decided to take me to the Boys and Girls Club one day. It had nothing to do with that feeling and all that. It's just idle hands of the devil's playground, and my aunt decided that you don't need the devil in your presence. So then took me to the Boys and Girls Club, showed me around. I had already decided that I wanted to be a better basketball player because it seems like that was the thing that girls were paying attention to, was the basketball players. Besides the point. Saw the basketball court, saw the foosball table, saw the air hockey table, which my aunt already had. So I was like, well, the air hockey table she had, but the foosball table, that I had a previous experience with playing at boarding school that I went to at one point in time. And when I saw all these things, I was, very interested in looking to have some fun there. And then they took us through the locker room, And then we ended up at this small, tiny little weight room. Couldn't have been probably the size of my living room. It wasn't even that. It wasn't big at all, right? To imagine enough equipment to fit in there, in the size of your living room. Think about that. That's how small it was. And then I saw it. Dudes, massive dudes. Dudes just jacked, just big, massive mountains of muscle. One of them being the great New York DJ Triple C. For those of y'all who are old enough to even know who Triple C is, he was in there working out. Shout out to him and Big Al. Reason why I'm giving them this shout out, if y'all are watching this channel, if y'all ever come across this channel, just know I'm indebted to you for life. Okay? But let me tell you why. Because I saw them. And when I saw them, I immediately put connections together. Lifting weights makes you look like that. So immediately I wanted it. I knew I needed to fix this. And I immediately figured out that the only way to fix it is to do that. So then, the minute I got my Boys and Girls Club card, beeline straight to the weight room. And as I came in there, understand, I was 12 and a half. I was actually I was almost 2 weeks away from being 13. Literally 2 weeks. And I go in there, and at 12 and a half, 12 and 3, 11 twelfths, I looked probably like I was 10. If I'm being generous there. If I'm being honest, I probably looked like I was more like 9. Right? And I walked in there and there's whoa, shorty, you can't be in here, dog. You can't be in here. And I was like, why not? Y'all are in here. They're in here. You got to be 13 to be in here. But I'll be 13 in 2 weeks. Well, come back in 2 weeks. The tears I shedded at that door. When I tell you I cried like a kid who was denied his favorite anything. His favorite artist, his favorite actor, his favorite performer, his favorite wrestler, his favorite athlete, just denied him at the door. Cried. I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten a whooping bad enough, as bad as I was crying at that time. I was bawling, okay? And all of a sudden, Big Al and Triple C looked at me and was like, hey, stop crying, man. Stop crying. Hey, stop crying. You gotta stop crying. And, snot bubbles, can't, hyperventilating and everything. And once that hyperventilating simmered down, they were like, hey, you ain't gonna be in here effing around. The minute you do, you're done. I don't care if you're 13. You're not coming back in here. And it was like, do you really want to be here? And I was like, And I mean, just imagine a small child standing before massive mountains of muscle, standing over you, looking at you. You sure you gonna do this? You sure you want to do this, shorty? You sure you want to do this? And nothing was stopping me from doing it. It's like, all right, shorty, we're gonna show you how to do it. We're gonna show you how this is done. And they put me through my paces. I wore myself out that day. I wore myself out so bad that I had to sleep. I slept so good my mom let me sleep in from church. And for those of y'all who know about moms in church, you know that that's not a normal thing. My mom left me at home, in bed. And when she came home, she found me in bed, collapsed, passed out. because I wore myself so much. I was so sore. I'm so glad. I'm beyond glad that I didn't have to go back until next week. Because if I had to go back before then, I don't know if I'll be talking to you about fitness right now. But I decided, at the age of 12, I made a conscious decision to change. I made that conscious decision. I didn't care what it took. I didn't care what mattered. All that mattered was I wanted that. And as I began to know things and educate and grow, I then started to begin to understand what was cool to do, what wasn't cool to do. Is that the route I really wanted to go, or did I just want to be in shape enough that I look good for me, as opposed to being the biggest dude or being the most shredded dude? I didn't care about any of that. I knew that me working out was all that mattered. It's all that mattered. And I wanted it, and I did everything to go and get it. So when I say to you, if you don't like it, fix it. I'm not just some Yahoo on this channel just talking out the side of my neck about doing something. I'm legit. I did what I'm telling you to do. There have been times, I'm not going to lie, that I've even lost myself. I lost myself. I lost that drive. I lost that fight of who the hell I am. I lost it. Whether somebody took it, whether I dropped it, whether I put it on the shelf, it doesn't matter which version of that it was. I did it. But then every now and then, somebody makes me turn around and go look for who the hell I am. And when they do, make no mistake about it, you'll know. Because I've always made you know. When I was in the military, I had to let people know who the hell I was. Just because I'm short don't mean nothing. You think you're gonna run me? Just because you think you're better than me? Good luck. You're about to find out what better looks like. You're really about to find out what better looks like. Because on the real, I'm not just gonna let anybody just run me over. I have a huge problem when people stand back and just let things happen. If all they do is stand back and let things happen, then what do you expect to happen but what somebody else decides for you? Why are you letting somebody else decide for you what is good for you? Why are you deciding to let everything go the way that they want it to go? How dare you do that? I'm not just talking to you out here. I'm even talking to me. How dare you? Let somebody else dictate to you how things are going to go. Absolutely not. How this is going to go is the way I say it's going to go. I may not be able to do it by complete and utter force, but make no mistake about it, I'm going to find my way in. If that's where I want to be. If that's where I want to be, I'm going to find my way in, and you're not going to stop me. You might delay me. You might slow me down, but you are never, ever going to stop me from doing what it is that I want to do. So the reality is that we have a unique opportunity right now. With all that's happening, all the crazy that's happening, all the nonsense, all the BS that's going on right now, you and I have a unique opportunity right now. And that unique opportunity that we have right now is to fix what is our problem. Let me start with, oh, you procrastinate, fix it. You may not be able to fix it by yourself, but damn it, you could damn sure fix it. You obese right now? Fix it. You know what to do. I've been telling you for years now what to do. And if you need that extra help, either find somebody like me or find me directly. Hit me up, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You can find me. You don't know certain things, dang it, learn. Go find out. You don't like the fact that your friends read better than you? Go read. Read more. Learn more stuff. Stop turning around and waiting for the next man to tell you things. Go learn. Can't do math? Practice math. Don't know history? Read about history. Don't understand why black people act this way? Go read. Don't understand why white people do this? Go read. This is the reality of what we're dealing with right now. Far too many times, we just stand back and act as though we are owed something. We're not owed anything. Nobody's owed anything, not even understanding. The world does not owe you understanding. It's nice when they do, when they understand, but the world does not owe you understand. You make them understand. A 12-year-old boy woke up. A 12-year-old boy woke up and made a decision that changed his life forever. 36 years and I'm still reaping the benefits of that 12-year-old boy's decision. I'm still reaping the benefits. I'm a trainer. I'm on social media. I'm in shape. I'm 48 years old. People think that I'm in my late 30s, mid 30s at times. If it wasn't for the gray hair on my face that I allowed to happen, people wouldn't know how old I really am unless you knew me. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. I am still reaping the benefits of a child's decision. One decision that a child made. A grown man is reaping those benefits. So when I tell you, if you don't like it, fix it, that is not hyperbole. That is not BS. That is not blowing smoke. That is not talking crazy. It is me telling you, you have the power to fix you. Even if you have to get someone else's help to do it, you are still making the decision to fix you. Nobody else. You can't get surgery unless you elect to have it. Any surgery, even life-saving surgery. You can't get it unless you make the decision to go and get it. You can't run a marathon until you take the first step. You can't get swole until you decide to pick something up that's heavier than your current strength level. You can't look beyond your age if you don't start taking care of yourself. You can't get mad at everybody else knowing something that you don't if you don't take the time to know it. Every day, There's something else that I'm finding out that I didn't know. Sometimes it falls in my lap. Sometimes I went out and found it. Sometimes it reveals itself. But make no mistake about it, I learned. And every time I learn something, I become a little bit more than I was before. A little more than I was before. And that is how I got to this point. Because every day I fell down, bumped my head, scraped my knee, broke my wrist, cracked my skull wide open. Doesn't matter which version of that story it is, I got better. Failure is the option. Failure is the option. Every time you hear somebody say failure is not an option, you go back and do me a favor and you tell them failure is the option. Because if you don't fail, you don't learn. You can't learn just when you win. As a matter of fact, you don't learn anything when you win. You just did something. And you figure that that's what you can do. And that you maybe figured out that at this point in time, no one can stop it. But you learned when you failed. You show me somebody that didn't fail and they're not somebody that I'm cool with. You got to tell me you failed at something. You can't be like, oh, I've been perfect all my life. You can't do it. Not with me. You're BSing. You failed at something. You got something wrong. You spilled the milk. You screwed the pooch. You bumped your head. Even if you did it as a baby, damn it, you failed. I had to explain to that student the concept of Doogie Howser. For those of y'all who are not old enough to know who Doogie Howser is, it is, what's his name? Oh, good Lord, it's on the tip of my tongue right now. But he was on How I Met Your Mother. He was Barney on How I Met Your Mother. Neil, freak his last name. Okay. But you know what I'm talking about. He was Doogie Howser. The premise of Doogie Howser was he was a 14-year-old kid with a PhD and a MD, and he already finished his residency, or he was finishing his residency at this point in time. And clearly he's a genius. Clearly he was so smart that he became a doctor at 14 years old, right? And you would think that that show was a crazy concept. It was something so stupid that it shouldn't even been on TV, but there was a beauty in that show. Neil Patrick Harris, that's his name. Neil Patrick Harris played Doogie Howser. And in that show, as intelligent as he was, figuring out how to save somebody's life and figuring out the illnesses of his patients and things like that, it took the knowledge of his friends who were not as book smart as he to show him what he did not know. Sure, he had to still learn things from his parents, who I believe his dad was also a doctor. But he still had a lot to learn despite knowing so much. And the beauty of that is pretty much all of us. We still have things to know. We don't know everything. Even as adults, we don't know everything. There's still things that we're learning about physical fitness that is still boggling the mind to this day. How can somebody eat absolute trash and still look like amazing. Calories, obviously, we know that. But before, people didn't understand. People didn't know. People thought it was air pie and wind sauce and tofu burgers and black bean burgers and all of that. Now we're also finding out that if you could be vegan and swole. Amazing how that works. Rice and beans is a complete protein. Who knew? Well, I mean, I know, and I knew learning about it, but who knew that just eating rice and beans is enough to get you swole? Properly. These are the types of things that when I say, if you don't like it, fix it. You're diabetic, fix it. You don't like that you're diabetic, fix it. Be on drugs for a little while, get off the drugs later. The more you know. Take the time to learn what you need to learn. You don't know how to do a backflip and you always wanted to know how? Fix it. Go learn. Always wanted to box? Go. Wanted to be a mixed martial artist? Go. You really want to learn how to play basketball? Go. You're not going to do it by yourself. Somebody's got to be on that journey with you. I'll tell you that. Even in fitness, somebody's got to be on that journey with you. If you want to get there, go alone. If you want to get there fast, go with someone else. Okay? I'm not going to belabor this point too much longer because I've got a long day tomorrow. Long. Very long. And if you can, do me a favor and give me a like or a share of this video, because this is the type of thing that the algorithm needs in order for me to get the information that I need to put out into the interwebs. I really do appreciate you watching me. I really do appreciate that you take the time to listen to me. I really do appreciate all of the success that this channel has had, because even though it's 207, it's my 207. I'm not going to sit back and, I mean, do I want more followers? Do I want more subscribers? Absolutely. Please help me out with that. However, if all I ever have is the 207 of you, I am always going to be grateful for each and every last one of you. There are a couple of things that I am actually going to move forward with, because initially I started embarking on it and then I stepped off of it because I didn't think it was something that I wanted to do. But over the last few months, actually more like the last few weeks, I have become more increasingly frustrated with a particular situation that I am going to look forward to getting into. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Hopefully, at some point in time, I will be proud to make that announcement. But in the meantime, I will say this. Do me a favor. Put a 1 in the chat if you're watching right now. Put a 2 in the chat if you've watched this after it aired. Give me a comment. Tell me what's up. Tell me what you think about what it is that we just talked about today. And last but not least, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class is Stoutt.